Virgo, and welcome to your weekly tarot reading. This will take you, I think it's the 8th to the 15th. It runs Monday to Monday. Okay, so can you see the cards? You've got a lot of pentacles here, Virgo. 4 pentacles, and all in some strange relationship. You've got the 4 and 5, but also the 10 and the 7. So there's this great openness with a sense of not having enough. Okay, well, complex, but the star card's appearing, which is so funny. And I think maybe what needs to heal quite a bit in you, Virgo, is your relationship with the earth element. Really essential relationship to work out. Anyhow, I'm still pulling cards, so give me a minute, and I need to set my timer. So additional guidance card for Virgo, please. Okay. You got the soulmates card, okay? Now, soulmates come in many, many shapes or forms, and I know everyone watching that knows that, okay? Sometimes our soulmates generally are our greatest teachers, okay? And they teach us generally through difficulty and generally through pain. Now, do not hate me, Virgo. I am as perplexed by human and the divine as you are, okay? I will clarify, but I actually, okay, I'm really laughing now because the blessed card is showing up. And when the blessed card shows up, it's 22, as above, so below. It's the master number. It can represent a huge relationship dynamic with someone going on. And when these two appear together for me, hugely blessed, huge love, huge challenges, all mixed into one big pot. And I could converse with you on this one for about a week, Virgo. These two cards together. Oh, sorry. Anyhow, I'm going to do your reading, and I can only do my best in the time I've got. If you want a private reading with me, my contact details are in the About section. Definitely a relationship dynamic. Okay, so what lies behind you is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, all the aces represent gifts given to us. What we do with them is the power that we have. Okay? We can claim that ace. Sometimes the ace is a hard ace to own because we see our difficulties as well as our gifts, okay? But you know what, Virgo, the irony is when we claim our difficulties and our gifts together, that is when we receive the energy of grace, okay? And it's funny because you're ending in the star card, which is grace. So what I mean by that is, you know, when if someone's been horrible to you and you have to work with the energy, but when you start to realize I too am that, okay, so I've done that to people too, that's when grace enters the picture. And boy, that's when magic enters into our lives, okay? Very interesting because you've got such an interesting, it's almost like you're working with something here, Virgo. Trust me, okay? So your gift is the 4 of discs and your challenge is the Sun card, okay? So the 4 of discs is about holding your energy back. It's your gift though. So maybe you've got a little bit of resources and you're trying to hold on to them. The 4 of discs isn't a negative card. Maybe you're putting something away for the future. That's sort of what the 4 of discs says. It's a card of structure and foundation. Now we need to have foundations in order to grow. At least to a certain extent, okay? I'm not going to go down that line. That's a really complex subject. But the 4 of discs as a gift means you've got a little bit of resources here, okay? And that's a gift you've been given. Your challenge is the Sun card. So the Sun card is a challenge, is, oh gosh, I'm a little bit confused. I'm going to clarify it. Because the Sun card is about life, yeah? New opportunities, new growth. The Sun powers all life on the planet. Oh, actually, that's up for debate as well. Oh God, Virgo, sorry. But as a challenge, it's almost saying there's something complex going on here, because the Four of Discs and the Sun is clarified with the Hierophant. These cards represent security, tradition, establishment, all about the foundations. But it's challenge, so you're not feeling your Sun, because a lot of your energy is going into looking after this Four. The way things are meant to be, being traditional, that sort of thing. This is where your energy is going, and because of it, you're challenged to feel the beautiful Sun card, which is about freedom. So some of you might be working really hard, so you just don't feel this liberation. You don't feel this sense of being in the child, that free child who just lives and who just breathes and who just celebrates. And it's because your energy is going here, okay? Now, again, that's not a bad energy. Try and work at a little bit of balance. You know what, Virgo? I'm a little bit of a workaholic. You know, it's very, very often that I give myself a whole day off to feel the Sun energy. Anyhow, can I just carry on? In your relationships, the Ten of Discs. So people are showing up for you in a very open way. The Ten of Discs is about a state of openness. Again, it might be to do with work and the earth element. There's a state of sharing here. But what I like about the Ten of Discs is it's very opposite the Four. So the Four is retreating back into your own sense of security. It's your gift. It's meant to be happening. But others are showing up for you in the complete polar opposite, a state of openness, where there's this flow of energy. I am absolutely intrigued by your reading, Virgo. I'm just like, what's going on? Anyhow, let me carry on. Your gift, now, your overall energy is the Seven of Pentacles, which is still a lot of contemplation, a lot of consideration about what's coming next. This is my card about being like 7 months pregnant and waiting and no one, Virgo, Scorpio's retrograde in Venus for 6 weeks. Everyone's energy is going into contemplation and reconsidering, reflecting and reevaluating. That's what the energy is about, okay? And that's your overall energy. Now your outcome, first of all, is the Five of Discs, okay? The Five of Discs is a card. It can be a card about worrying about money, but it's a card about being separate. A feeling of being disconnected from the light. And the Sun is your challenge. So there's almost a little bit of an irony here, Virgo. By over-focusing on that Four of Pentacles and the Hierophant, what you should be doing, you're sort of disconnecting yourself from the energy of the All, our Creator, your spiritual well-being. But I'm a bit, it's one of these readings that I can't make a judgment on, because it's almost like that's what's meant to be happening. So your energy's meant to be going on the Four of Pentacles, on tradition, on the ground under your feet. But there might be a bit of imbalance, and that's why the Sun is your challenge and the Five of Discs. By putting too much on one emphasis, you're discounting the natural self-expression and the natural joy. So I asked what came after that and how to work with it, and you got the Star card. Now, again, the Star card is about grace, it's about healing, it's about trust. But the way to work with this, the way to get the Star card is to own the Ace of Swords. And I've tried to explain how I work with it. Like, this rubbish thing happened to me, and realising that I've also done that to people. It gets us out of being the victim, and it gets us, it's a really powerful way to live your life. And actually, I would say that's when you get into the magical realm, and when grace enters your life, when you can begin to own the Ace of Swords. Very, very challenging card to work with, but it cuts through all the debris, and that's what will connect you back to the Sun card. That's how you get the Star card, and after the Star comes the Fool card. So that's what I'm already saying. There's a little bit of work to be done this week, Virgo. I'm not going to say that I don't like all your energy going into the 4, because there's a time and a place for it. But when you do too much of it, you become exhausted and you lose conscious contact. Conscious contact with your own, with the source of energy within you and the Creator. It seems to be going on a little bit here. The trick is to go back to that Ace of Swords. So really, to get the energy of the Star card and the Fool, I've given you an example. What I get people to do and what I do is you begin to own who you are. So you're no longer a victim when you realise this thing happened to me, and you start to look at when you've also done that. And then you move into your Sun, you move into the Star card, and you move into the Fool card. I'm not sure what's going on in relationships. These cards, hugely powerful and hugely tricky. I get these cards inside out, guys, okay? Generally talks of a relationship that's very powerful, but very loads of obstacles and trickiness and difficulties around it, okay? So Virgo, that was a hugely complex energy. I don't like seeing you in the 5 of Discs and the Sun is your challenge. And too much emphasis on the Pentacles is what knocks you out. To move to the Star card, you need to own that Ace of Swords, which is a double-edged sword. The wounded and the wounder. Hugely complex. I'm sorry, Virgo, this is like a very deep reading. Loads of love. Bye.